Thanks for checking out the enVisionPlus Integrated Mathematics program. Here are a few of our digital resources. We'll start our exploration by looking at the student experience on the Savvis Realize platform. Our teacher has created something called a playlist, and she's put in order the exact items she wants us to work on, as you can see at the top of the page here. The first item she's put in our playlist happens to be from the first step of our 4-step lesson plan, and that's the Explore and Share section. A couple of things to take note of here. Students can interact with this content digitally, as you can see, write their thoughts, share it with teachers, and show their work and thinking. The next tab is from step 2 of our 4-step lesson plan, Understand and Apply, where students are introduced to the lesson essential question. Students can interact with the content in a variety of ways, including built-in Desmos interactivities at point of use. The next tab shows an example of one of the ways that students can consolidate their learning by showing what they understand and practicing and explaining their thinking. Our teacher also knows that our students may need a little more help, so she included a link under the 4th tab to a Virtual Nerd video from the lesson.
Let's write an equation in slope-intercept form given that m equals 2 and b equals -2. Well, to write an equation in slope-intercept form,
we'll stop the video here and highlight the 5th tab that our teacher included, which is a link to our family engagement website so that our families at home can support their students too with many of the same resources. Notice that this website can also be translated into over 100 different languages, so we show parents and families that we honor their language, we honor their culture, and we want them to be able to help their students at home. By the way, this translation feature also works with our student edition. Now let's switch perspectives and look at this from a teacher point of view. How did our teacher select the items that she included in the playlist, and where did she find them? If you look at the same lesson in the teacher's edition or the student edition, you'll see that she was able to preview those items by looking at the lesson outline. Here you see the problem-based learning activity that was under the first tab in our playlist. As we flip through the next few pages of the lesson, you'll see that the examples and activities that our teacher put in the playlist are right here in the teacher's edition. There's a one-to-one correspondence between what you see in the teacher's edition and where you're going to find those resources in our digital platform that we'll show you next. So now that we know how our teacher chose the items that she wanted in the playlist, let's look at our digital platform to see where she found those items and how she created that playlist. We'll choose our title and our topic and lesson from the table of contents on the left side of the page. Once you open a lesson, scroll up and down to see all of the components that you can use during your lesson. Notice that each step of the lesson has components designed specifically for that step. Teachers can preview any digital item by clicking on the title of that item. Teacher guidance is built in at the right side of the screen. We'll go back to the lesson outline and select the next item to explore. Notice that teachers can interact with the content exactly the same way that a student would. This gives teachers a chance to preview what the student experience will be right from the teacher's digital platform, including those Desmos interactivities. Another way you may want to explore content is by using Slide Sorter View, like you see here, to preview different components of the lesson. Once we've previewed the items and decided what we want to have in the playlist, it's as easy as clicking the box next to the items and then adding those items to a new playlist or even to an existing playlist. One last thing to show before we leave this topic is our topic assessments. Most of the assessments built into our program are designed to give students the same experience that they would see on the SBAC. They're going to see a variety of question types and answer modalities, including drag and drop, multiple choice, drop-down menus, fill in the blank, free response, etc. Students will be practicing in a digital environment that emulates the SBAC all year. So now that they know how to use the digital tools in these assessments, they can focus on the content rather than trying to figure out how to answer their questions. Each topic also includes a performance task, so students can practice performance assessments several times during the year. One last thing before we go. Introducing Savvas Studio. Our program's generative AI that will allow you to create a lesson plan, extra practice, and even provide differentiation resources. Let's use Savvas Studio to generate some extra practice. We'll select a skill or concept, a grade level, choose the number and types of questions we want, and even add an extra theme and include special instructions, in this case, instructions to translate our worksheet into both English and Spanish, and then we let the AI do its work. Thanks again for checking out the enVisionPlus Integrated Mathematics program. Let us know if there's anything else we can do to help.